in this culture, a woman has so many responsibilities in the house, to look after the house, to look after the children. And of course, there's such an emphasis, though, on a spiritual path and wanting to be with God. And Puja Swamiji was just speaking so much about finding the center with the divine and being with the center. So she says, you know, you spend so much time taking care of the house, making food, cleaning everything. Then when you actually have time to go to the temple, after cleaning that, suddenly your mind now is, okay, it's time to make lunch for the family, it's time to do this, it's time to do that. And there's so little time left to be with God. And is it possible to surrender that sense of not being disciplined enough or not having enough time? And the question is, does God only live in that temple? मतलब भगवान केवल मंदिर में रहते हैं जब आप kitchens को सफाई करने जाते हैं. When you're cleaning the kitchen, when you're feeding your families, God's not there? God is separate from that in some way? God is sitting in the temple saying, when is she going to be done with that and have time for me? The problem is in our mind we separate them. In our mind, this time is my time with God. This is my spiritual time. This is my meditation time. And the rest is work. Not that I don't love my family, of course I do, but nonetheless in my mind, this is work and this is my spiritual time. And the only answer to that, because the answer is never neglect the family, give that up, make lunch or dinner really, really fast so that you have time to rush back into the temple. It's never about that. In fact, there's a true story I remember, a very funny story of a family with whom Puja Swamiji was staying in South Africa one time, and they lived about 300-400 kilometers from the Johannesburg airport. And we had a flight to catch, but they were very, very devoted people and spent hours and hours and hours every day sitting in their puja. And the day that we had to leave, puja's going on and on and on and on, and I kept going in and, you know, whispering sort of that I think we're getting late, I think we should leave, we have to catch the flight. And they kept saying, no, we have to finish the puja, have to finish the puja. And by the time we got in the car to drive to the airport, we were so late that he had to drive like an absolute maniac to get us to the airport. And along the way, in a very, very sweet, very loving, very caring and yet pointed way, Puja Swamiji asked him whether he felt that those of us sitting in the car whose lives he was endangering, going at, 200 kilometers an hour, 250 kilometers an hour to rush us to the airport on time, were somehow any less part of the divine than the divine that was sitting in his temple, whose puja they had been doing all morning. And the point of it is, yes, we have to keep that temple in our home. We have to give ourselves time. Otherwise, we get busy in life and we completely forget. But that temple, that divine corner, as Puja Swamiji calls it, is really for a recharging session. It's for us to go back and recharge ourselves, to remind us what it's all about, what the point is, who we are. But it's not about that we have to stay stuck sitting there, or that we have to even have a certain amount of time there. Once we're there, then the question becomes, can I see you? You to whom I'm praying, you upon whom I'm putting tilak, you for whom I'm lighting the diya, you for whom I'm putting the flower. Can I see you in everybody who I'm serving in all of the hours a day that I'm not sitting here? And then what you find is everything you're doing becomes prayer. and becomes meditation. And then whether it's in the workplace, with the people you're working with, whether it's in the home, whether it's out running errands, all of the people with whom we're interacting become that divine. I mean, we're told, Isha Vasimidam Sarvam. The divine pervades the entire universe. It doesn't say, but there's a lot of the divine here and only a little bit of the divine there. Infinity divided by 2 is infinity, and infinity divided by 100 is infinity. So that same divine is present not just in some sort of diluted form, but in the fullness and the completeness and the wholeness in all of creation. So whether it's your family you're tending to, whether it's a tree you're tending to, whether it's homeless people you're tending, whether it's hungry people you're tending, all of those beings are the divine. So if you can just carry that awareness with you all the time, then it's not about when can I get back to the temple. It's about how can my kitchen become my temple? How can my office become my temple? How can the whole house become my temple? How can wherever I go be my temple? Because then wherever we are, we're able to do our puja and do our meditation.